I'm here at Milcom 2011 with my friend Shubhagat, who is Director of Business Development for Curtiss-Wright Embedded Computing. And thank you, Shubhagat, for taking some time to me today on your busy schedule to answer some questions for me. First of all, I want to talk about the budget. The U.S. defense budget and the budget overall, seeing a lot of cutbacks, a lot of new programs very likely to get cut back even more than has already happened. How do you see Curtiss-Wright navigating through that situation, and are there possibly ways to capitalize on that, given what's going on?
Yeah, certainly. What you're finding is that as the budget pressures are coming into the primes, and then it flows down to hardware supplies such as ours, it impacts us in several ways. First of all, it makes us be more efficient, right? The way we manufacture things and such like that. But also, if you look up what the Army, for example, is asking for, they're asking for more of a turnkey kind of situation. They don't have the money to spend millions of dollars trying to develop something.
Right.
Right. So if you can recognize what they are, if you can bring, pretty much good solutions into the market, that is, the phrase you hear a lot is good enough.
Right. Sure.
A good enough solution to solving their problems. I think that's a great growth opportunity.
Yeah, and along with that idea, the idea of pretty high technology readiness levels and being able to have a more complete system for the customer seems to be kind of a big idea these days, that people want to, maybe your customers want to have a more complete system to go with a demo to their customers and that sort of thing.
Right, absolutely.
What you're saying?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's more of so one of the things we want to do is market what's called as the TRL level.
Yes.
Technology readiness level, and that's defined by the DoD, what they are, and we translate them to our products. And so one of the things we would do is say that such and such products has been fielded already, and so it's a TRL 7, for example, right? And we try to position ourselves in the marketplace like that.
Yeah, within that, there's also this sort of trend of us, the so-called swap size, weight, and power, and trying to get things, whether at a box level or board level, down to something that can fit into a lot of the things, whether it be vehicles or small UAVs or whatever, maybe sometimes putting more functionality in the same system or maybe something in a smaller system. But there's also, as budgets get trimmed and cost becomes an issue, this whole idea, I think, as you alluded to, of really having just the absolute functionality and not the sort of extra complexity that you just add as added value, but it really can not be afforded with the cost. How do you see the industry coping with that sort of shift to that?
Yeah. So first of all, what we are finding is that the COTS industry is getting mature. So COTS commercial, right? So we're leveraging what's available commercially. So as commercial technologies progress, you get a freebie anyway,
right?
In terms of consolidation of functionality into a single chip, for example.
Oh, sure, right, yeah.
Intel, for example, have absorbed their, North Bridge. There are more graphics in the main processor, and we leverage that. And that's at a chip level, sure. But if you go up a notch into a board level, there's a trade-off, really. Let's say that we make a standard product, and the standard product has so much amount of functionality. Then the next customer comes and asks for more. Then what do you do? So then do you do it again from scratch? And so there's a trade-off between that and adding. So that's where our knowledge comes in, working with the customer comes in. That we look for kind of a universal Venn diagram way, that we think that from our experience in talking to our customers, that the features they're going to ask for is this, this, and this, and we'll put it in there in our base product. Another way to deal with it is that you have a base product. So intelligent think like this: you have a base product that has the minimum functionality, but without redoing the board itself, you can add functionality. You have a keep out area. You have things built in. So it's all a trade-off, right?
And they leverage the cost of that functionality, right? Yeah, one sort of related issue is this whole idea of, as you look everywhere, everyone's using iPads, smartphones, and that sort of thing, and it seems like, at least the idea, and sometimes people are actually doing it, the idea of taking those items like an iPad or an iPhone and ruggedizing for military requirements and using them in the field. Now, no one expects a company like Apple, for example, to get involved directly in something like the military market, where it's very small from their point of view. But do you see suppliers in this market, or maybe new suppliers, maybe doing that sort of thing? And even if it's not a company like yours, I mean, how does it kind of change what you do? I mean, versus like traditional, more embedded, purpose-built computers or things like that?
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you say that. A few years ago, Army did approach Apple, as I understand it.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
And trying to see if so in our world there are two things important, right? Ruggedization and security.
Right.
Right. And you're right that you cannot imagine Apple to just for a few hundred they're going to sell.
Yeah.
They're going to change their product line. So one of the way they could have done is, for example, they say that the security aspect. Let's put the bells and whistle in there. So a third party, aftermarket can bring it, put it in a case, for example, ruggedized case, or add the additional functionality of security, and that's absolutely viable. However. I don't know this, but I don't see a solution like that today from Apple directly. Okay?
Right, sure, yeah.
So I must assume then that there are issues for them to do this for such a small market. However, you do touch on a very interesting thing. What has happened in the security community of DoD, DoD, is that they're looking at the type of data that needs to be secure,
right?
Especially in a tactical environment, and they're saying, so why do we need the Rolls-Royce version of my security for this? I can't afford it, first of all.
Sure, right.
And I don't need it. If my data is going to be stale in 1 month or a few days, why would I need the,
It only matters for that mission, for example.
Absolutely.
Right.
So they are willing to look at commercial security technology. And that market is huge for finance, for HR, right? So if I can take those kind of technology, commercial technology, and security as well, maybe add a little bit of secret sauce and take it just up a notch, then certifying agencies like NSA and all should be okay with it. In fact, NSA actually has a program called, I think it's called Commercial for Classified or something like that, along those lines.
Sure, right?
And that's what they're trying to do, is to think like that, that if I can use my commercial security technologies, which is good enough, right? For my tactical applications, well, I have a solution. And that is happening as well.
And also, if you look on the deployed battlefield, I guess there's no commercial cell towers out there. Then it's really the network infrastructure has to be stuff that's mobile or stuff that's sort of embedded in rugged mobile. So that's sort of how it fits into maybe the more traditional defense market and that type of thing.
Right.
Well, thank you, Shubhagat. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule today to talk to me, and this is great. Thanks a lot for your insights.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.